Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. It has been a while since I've recorded. Unfortunately, I am pretty fucking tired now. So, apologies for that, for the big gaps that have come and will certainly continue to come. Apologies for that. But for now, let's continue on. We have one more death game to get through before we get to whatever ending we're heading towards here. As I remember, I was guessing it was going to be Phillips? Anyway. We'll see. I walked away from the portrait and took a seat on the couch to collect my thoughts. Though there weren't really many thoughts to collect. The fact of the matter was, I'd already won some round of this game. So had Devon. So had a number of people. We were all going to survive this in some way, shape or form. Really, all I had to do at this point was just minimize suffering and help everyone else move ahead so this game would be done with sooner. That's all there was to it. Which meant I'd probably have to help Richard or William. That's right, Richard, not Philip. Where did Philip come from? Or did I even have to help at all? Can I just bow out and let them solve things on their own? That seems like it would be the best solution for everyone. Best not to meddle in their affairs after all. Yeah, maybe I'd just take the first chance I got to lose if I could. Soon William and Richard joined me on the couch, probably just resting and trying to prepare for what would be an intense game between the two of them. I was keen on just taking a nap. I deserved a small amount of rest at this point, didn't I? But of course, I wouldn't be able to sleep in relative silence. There just had to be some juicy conversation going on. Hey, Richard, I know that Cole was kind of like dangerous and all that, but why do you want him specifically dead? Can you go for like anyone else in the world? I guess I could, but this is somewhat personal to me. Personal? Do you know what happened here 4 years ago? Here, like in this place? No, I mean more around the meadow. I was there with my father. We were sort of guests of the Digits of Eden. It was pretty boring, honestly. I was just watching and waiting idly while my father was catching up with the other Digits of Eden leaders. But all hell broke loose when everyone came back. What happened? Well, honestly, it was chaos. There was a lot going on, but I can tell you things from my perspective anyway. The game had just ended, and the group that was a part of it had come pouring back out of that glowing gate you saw before. The crowd around them had been cheering and roaring with excitement. It had been another successful game, another success in their eyes. It was easy to get swept up in the chaos. Bodies were jumping, people were yelling. Honestly, I just wanted to up and leave. But my father was pushing his way through the crowd, looking for some woman. Someone that had come out of the gate. Excuse me. I followed behind him primarily because I didn't want to get left behind, but then I saw it. Cole grabbed this woman by the neck and had slammed her down on the ground. I didn't understand what was happening at the time. It was such a chaotic blur. I just remember that he pulled out a knife and raised it into the air. You had one fucking job. One goddamn job, you stupid fucking bitch. The hell are you wasting your wish for? I don't care how much money you're giving us. You had one goddamn job. If you can't even do something as simple as giving me what I want, then you're useless. You're goddamn dead weight. And he plunged the knife into her over and over again. Fucking piece of shit, you think we can't replace you? We'll find someone else. We'll find someone else that can get the job done. That woman's screams were drowned out by the roar of the crowd. Most of them were still oblivious as to what was going on. But he just kept stabbing and stabbing and stabbing. He had such anger, hatred and disregard for human life in his eyes. I was paralyzed. It was like I was staring into the eyes of a monster. But my father wasn't so easily stunned into inaction. What are you doing? Get off her. Are you mad? He'd rushed over and pushed Cole off the woman. Get the fuck out of my way, old man, or I'll carve that withered brain of yours out of your skull. I don't remember why, but there was a gunshot. It was enough to get me to stop staring in a paralyzed state. Stop, you can't just kill people. Hey, that a goddamn challenge? I can kill whoever I damn well want. You can join the bitch if you want, I don't care. There was such bloodlust emanating from this monster, I didn't doubt that he'd take a personal delight in carving us up. But I couldn't just stand back and let this man have his way butchering this woman. I just couldn't. I'm not moving. Fine, I don't give a shit. You can both fucking die for all I care. The world won't miss some wasted old bag and his pathetic prick of a son. He approached us, raising his knife up again, and the gleam of it just made me freeze again. I just wasn't used to this. I wasn't used to being in danger. My body just wouldn't move. And then the murderous intent in his eyes was enough to freeze my blood cold. Richard, move! Right as the knife was swung at me, my father pushed me out of the way. There was a blood-curdling scream, and my body was shocked back into action again. Cole was about to swing again, but I pulled my father away, just barely avoiding getting knifed in the gut a second time. Fuck! What the hell is happening? Connor's voice had cut through part of the chaos, which apparently was enough to keep Cole from pressing us any further. Get the fuck out of the way, old man. Where do you want to be next? Get your hands off him. Cole, what the fuck are you doing? This goddamn bitch went against her word. That's what fucking happened. Had one fucking job and she couldn't even do that. Dead weight. Just goddamn dead weight. What the hell have you done? Is that Yuri? Did you just murder... Shut the fuck up, Connor. This bitch. What's going on here? Why are we firing shots? What's going on? Nigel, it's just... Hey, what's with the crowd? Are we meant to be celebrating? Now everyone's screaming and... looks like some kind of commotion happened. Oh dear, she looks like she's bleeding. There'd been a small crowd that circled us, and the other leaders of the Digits of Eden had come over to see what was going on. Hey Phil, you don't look like you're doing too hot either. It's okay, Dad, we're gonna get you help. Wound doesn't look too bad, just keep pressure on it. You there, go grab some bandages from the car, take him to a hospital too. Keep things quiet though. Go with him, Richard. They'll make sure that Philip gets taken care of. Right, thank you. They were quick to get the situation under control as they helped carry my dad to safety. So we're going to talk about the bleeding corpse you just made, Cole? What about you, Connor? Why do you have a gun pulled out? Were you the one that... Drop it, Sebastian. Fine, fine. Just trying to figure out what happened. What happened was I got fucked over. Well, that makes two of us. But I didn't murder a wealthy donor because of it. Fuck this damn bitch, this fucking old man. This shit couldn't get any fucking worse. We're going to talk about this later. Get this cleaned up. He didn't apologize. He didn't show any remorse for me, my father, or the woman he killed. He was just obsessed that he didn't get what he wanted. You know what the worst part about it was? That woman died and nothing came of it. What do you mean nothing came of it? I mean, Cole got away with murder, no punishment as far as I know. Everyone that witnessed it got paid off or intimidated to keep quiet about it. Even me and my father were silenced, first with money, then with threats later to make sure we didn't talk about it. I guess it would have been a bad idea to go public about what happened. You could have died. That's what I thought at the time. I only wanted to keep my dad safe. But I wish I'd done more, spoken out, just gotten the word out so that he'd suffer some kind of consequence. They're all bad. Each of those leaders has got something crooked about them. Where else would they run that horrible cult? But he's going to be the worst one. He doesn't help people. He's just muscle, intimidation, barely pretending to be some force of good when he's just as selfish as the rest of them. Except that he doesn't mind hurting and killing people to get what he wants. At least the others are somewhat humane. Somewhat. That's why he needs to die. I doubt that I can change the cult. I doubt that anything will. But I can at least remove the worst elements of it. Come on, it can't be that bad, right? I mean, Sebastian isn't all that bad. I don't know much about Sebastian, but anyone that reaps the benefits of manipulating people can't exactly be good. Do you know him personally? Well, not really. I just have heard some things about him from Elizabeth. Well, take it from me. Even with pleasant smiles and friendly faces, they're all crooked in some way. I see it in their eyes. In their eyes, huh? I've been meaning to ask, but have you always had the ability to read people by looking at their eyes? Not always. It was something that sort of developed around 12 years ago or so. It was pretty scary. Scary? What's scary about being able to know what people are feeling or thinking? It's scary when you don't know why it's happening or how to stop it. And I already had a hard enough time making eye contact with people growing up, and suddenly made it 10 times harder. You couldn't make eye contact with people growing up? Well, it's not that I couldn't, I just didn't like doing it. It made things hard growing up. People thought I was weird, so I had a hard time getting along with people. A lot of the time people thought I was just being rude or unattentive. Oh, sorry to hear that. It sucks when people always look down on you and think that you're a freak. I didn't say anyone thought I was a freak, just weird. Right, but eventually it stopped, right? Eventually people started treating you fairly and justly, right? I guess William is treated as a freak then. They started respecting you at some point, right? Eventually, but it's not like everyone did. Some people still think I'm off, but some people just tolerate me. Some people genuinely like me. I've given up trying to please everyone. I do what I can to blend in, but I'm not going to break my back, brain, or balls trying to please everyone I see. That's some strong language. Yeah, something that pulls some strong feelings from me. Strong feelings require strong language. It's true. Well, I think you're a neat guy, Richard. You've been nothing but friendly and kind to me. Supportive too, even though we're mostly strangers. Thanks. Means a lot to hear that. Though I still do remember that you called me creepy when we first met. It's just because of the way you dress and you snuck up on me. Well, you can't win them all. And then I guess it's a matter of time then. William let out a heavy sigh. Got it. Sorry I interrupted. No need to apologize. It was just a question, right? Yeah. Anyway, I learned how to cope and deal with it over time. I was able to stand looking at people in the eyes a little better. Felt like I was blending in a bit more. Then all of a sudden I'm starting to like see what people are feeling. I was feeling what they were feeling. It freaked the heck out of me. I hated it and I started regressing back into avoiding people. Yeah, I guess that would come as a bit of a shock, wouldn't it? Yeah, the first few months of that new power just felt bizarre and strange. But my dad managed to push and pry me out of my shell. He's always looking out for me. Always doing what he thinks is best for me. Richard let out a heavy sigh. That's the only thing that's making me have second thoughts about all this. Oh, you think he'll be disappointed? Yeah, that's really the only thing that I think will hurt me the most. Seeing his scowling face of confusion and anger knowing that I did this. He won't be expecting it. Won't that guy already be immortal so you'd need 2 wishes to kill him? He thinks that I'm going to save Mum, but I'm not. I never was, but I couldn't tell him that or he wouldn't bring me along. But he's going to find out eventually when this is all over. I know. But that doesn't mean I can't dread it. What do you think that he'll do? Probably yell at me, ask why I did it. If I was thinking straight, stuff like that. You really care about your dad, huh? Of course I do, I love my father. He's the last person I want to disappoint. But that makes it all the more difficult to do this. You hate to make the people you love disappointed. I get that. I don't want to make Elizabeth disappointed either. She's one of the few people that respects me. She's your teacher, isn't she? How long have you known her for? A couple of years. She's been teaching me about a lot of things, not just the supernatural. I hate to admit it, but I'm not exactly the smartest tool in the shed. Sharpest tool in the shed. Right. But Elizabeth, she doesn't mind taking her time with me to make sure I get things. She's supportive, encouraging, friendly. I kind of wish I'd said these things to her while she was alive. This is surprising. I don't think I've ever heard William talk down about himself. Why is he suddenly getting honest? Well, he still can, you know. It's not as though she's dead for good. I'm sure that she'll really appreciate hearing it. Yeah, I guess you're right. But that's the problem. What do you mean by that? Are you afraid she's going to be disappointed in you because of what you're going to wish for? Hey, you can't cheat by using your magic vision or whatever. Pretty sure that Clyde could come to the same conclusion as I did just based on your reaction. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. What is it you're going to wish for anyway? William's hands dug into his pocket again as if searching for something. Huh? Where'd it go? Crap, did I drop it? Need help looking for something? No, it's fine. I don't need it anyway. It's to help save my dad, that's all. He's sick. I need to make a wish that'll cure him. That's all. Oh, that's probably what I'll do for my mother. Or already have done. My mother's sick as well, so I probably wish for her to get better. Though there's no real reason, no real way to know that for sure. Yeah, then you get what I'm trying to do. Is that really the whole truth? Why wouldn't it be? Because I'm sensing a lot of agitation and doubt right now. That's just... The conversation came to a halt as we heard the sound of a door opening. Likely the last competitor. We all craned our heads to see who was entering the room. Alphonse. Alphonse, looks like you're lucky number 4. Lucky number 4, huh? I sure don't feel lucky. Why not? You survived. You won. If that's not lucky, then what is? In a way, you're right. It's just that I'm not happy about how I had to win. What do you mean? Everett was controlling that woman, Laura. Kept on making promises. The big grand kind that'll fill you with hope. I knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to convince Laura to make a wish that she hadn't originally intended. And the last thing that I need is more numbers against me. What do you mean? Don't worry about it. Shouldn't concern you. Just know that the reason I wanted to join that group was because I suspected that he might try to screw them over. Once I knew I was right, I couldn't let them get a chance at winning. I just couldn't. Wouldn't say it's a noble thing, but it's what I had to do. Not that you really had a choice. Only 1 out of the 4 of you could have survived that game. True. It just worked out for me. I could afford to be selfish. Still, wish I didn't have to have a hand in their deaths, but what can you do? This place makes killers out of all of us. Anyway, no point fretting over it for long. We got a game to do. Let me just check something real quick. Alphonse walked over toward the portrait on the wall and stared at it. Must be some tough game. Sounds like there was some kind of thing going on with Everett and Alphonse, maybe. Maybe something about convincing Laura to make a wish for her. There was that argument that they were having earlier? Right, well, I guess we won't have to worry about that for now, will we? Seems like they all got taken care of. Poor Laura. She seemed like a really nice woman. Hopefully, however she died peacefully. Well, why are you looking at me like that? No reason, you just seem really disappointed in Laura. I just told you I was sad that she died. She was nice. Nice people don't deserve to die. Right. Is that all there is to it? It is. Stop trying to read into things. Sorry, you're just really easy to tease sometimes. Whatever. We'll see how you're feeling once we get into that game. I'll be feeling like I won't have to do anything. Right, you don't have to win. Well, Richard, you'll soon see my amazing skills in action. I'm sure I will. It'll be a fun match for sure. Assuming it's not something too horrific and deadly. That'll ruin the fun. Or it'll make things more exciting. You were the one out of it after seeing a crushed body. You three done gossiping? Alphonse walked back with a deep scowl across his face. You alright? Honestly, no, I'm pretty pissed off. But there's not much I can do about it right now. I just have to press onward. All I can do now is hope that somehow this all works out. Like I said, you don't need to worry about it. By the way, did one of you drop a piece of paper? Paper? It says something like, is KNKKAE80AEL? What the word does that mean? That's mine. All yours. Alphonse offered him the piece of paper and William was quick to swipe it and tuck it into his pocket. What is that, some kind of language you made up on your own? No, it's just some notes. There's some weird notes you got there. What does it mean? It's obviously not English. It's nothing but a reminder. You don't need to worry about it. What's with the harsh tone, kid? It's only a few letters. Can't be that important, can it? Doesn't matter. It's not like you have time to think about it anyway. Let's just get into the next game already, okay? William was quick to walk over to the lone open door at the far end of the lounge. Guess he's ready to go. No point in delaying the inevitable. Shall we go? Yeah, I'm right behind you. I wonder if it says if he's our secret weapon. Alphonse? Well, one can only hope so. I'm coming. Let's get down to business. Alright, one last game to go. Let's do this. We all nodded and entered into the last waiting room. I wonder what Belle's going to have in store for us this time. Feels like she's going to give us some horrifically complex game to end things off with. You think so? Just a feeling. No point in having a game that doesn't have an exciting ending, right? Sort of like a finale, right? A finale? Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth, Alphonse. Right on cue. We all turned to look at the screen. Right on cue indeed. Normally I like to let you all bicker and banter for a bit, but it seems you're all in a rush today. Or maybe you just got all the banter out early and... you know, this is a very interesting group. Is it? I guess you wouldn't remember all that well, would you? Let's just say that it's somewhat nostalgic to see the boys together again. I wonder if things will go differently this time around. What do you mean? Nothing. Just a little godly humour is all. Now, I'm sure you all know that there can only be one winner in all this, right? Thus, the game that we'll be selecting for you will result in only one winner. That much clear to you? Clear as water. I mean, that is sort of the base of this game, right? That there can only be one winner? Exactly. I'm hoping that you'll all enjoy it to the fullest. So what are we going to end up playing then? Let's play something that'll test those brains of yours. We'll play Pop Off. Pop Off? You know, you feel like popping off? This is the finale. You should feel excitement, adrenaline, endorphins. Right, yeah, I'm feeling all that right now. Just keeping it nice and contained. The lengths I go to make fun games for you people, and you lack any excitement whatsoever. I'm excited, Belle. I'm ready to pop off. Well, at least we can always count on you, William. Damn right. Now, if you're a little into the game room, I can give you the details about the game. Toodaloo. The screen shut off and Alphonse was already walking toward one of the doors. Aren't you going to think things over for a bit? What's there to think over? It's just going to be a game, same as any other. No point in trying to strategize or overthink what was going to end up happening. I mean, you have a point, but I feel like it's tradition. Fine, do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Without another word, he entered into the game room. Guess he's not for team spirit. To be fair, there really isn't a team, so to speak. But it's about the spirit of things. Maybe he's just in a bad mood. He did seem a bit upset earlier. Maybe, but I doubt there's anything we can do to help him in that regard. Well, I guess we should just play the game then. Time for my victory to shine bright. Don't just stand there in silence. Come on, let's just go. Hey! This room seems familiar. Yeah, it feels like I've been here before. Who's to say? Maybe you've just seen a very similar room somewhere else in your life. Belle had poofed onto the table, smiling from ear to ear with delight. Lots of people want to steal from my sense of interior design, after all. Your style of interior design is mostly blue, gold, and lots of clover motifs. Exactly. It's perfect, isn't it? After a while, it gets tiring to the eyes. Well, you're free to close them whenever you want. But let's talk about my amazing sense of style. Who's ready to play Pop-Off? I am. That's the spirit. Alright, listen up to the rules because they're super important. Pop-Off is a game about careful selection of pieces off a board to avoid meeting a horrific end. The game rules work like this. I'll give each of you a chance to place a death ball on a 4x4 board. After all the balls have been placed, they'll be hidden underneath a bunch of cups. Then you'll take turns popping the cups off the board one at a time. If you pop a cup and there's a death ball underneath it, you die. Wow, who could have seen that coming? Think of it as a fun little surprise. Anyway, that's the basics of how the game will be played. It'll go on until there's only one player left who'll be the winner. Simple, right? Makes sense to me? Great, there'll be one small section of the rules for placing the death ball and all that, but you understand the base rules, right? I got one question. How are you going to set the playing order? Simple, the first person to play a death ball will be the first person to go up, and the second person to place a death ball will be the second, and so on, and so forth. Alright, guess that makes sense. Is there a time limit on how long we can think over our moves? Well, there's no strict time limit, but if I feel the need to put some pressure on you, I will. Okay? If that's all, let's get to the death ball selection portion of the game, where each of you move into one of the adjoining rooms. We have to go into another room to make the death ball selection? Of course. If we all did it in here, in person, it'd be obvious where each one was. This way no one knows where anything is. It'll be exciting. Ah, I see. Yeah, that makes sense in hindsight. Good, now get a move on. I'm excited to see how this one will play out. Alright, no need to get pushy. We each moved into one of the adjoining rooms and the door closed swiftly behind us. This room again? Don't you have any other rooms you could use than this one? It just seemed convenient. I mean, it already has a computer, and why not use it again? Because it does nothing but bring up bad memories? Oh, well, grow up. Let's make some good memories here instead. Alright, now that you're here, let me give you a rundown on this portion of the game. It's very important, so listen up. The death ball selection will be a sort of free-for-all. As soon as I allow it, you'll be allowed to select where you want your death ball to be placed. However, there are some rules you should be aware of. For starters, once you select a spot, you must place your death ball there. The only exception to this rule is if there's already a death ball in that spot, or if there's a dud ball. A dud ball? Yes, a dud ball. It's a special gold ball that won't kill you if you select it. However, you can't place the death ball in its position. There's a total of 4 dud balls, so 4 of the spaces will be automatically blocked off. Understand that much? Got it. So really there's at most 12 spaces I can place a death ball. And if the other 3 places a death ball before me, then it might narrow the spots down I can pick to 9. Here, this will give a bit of a visualization of the board state. All the balls will be hidden underneath one of these cups. To inform you properly, there'll be 4 gold dud balls, 4 white death balls, and 8 blue plain balls. Do you understand? Think I got it, yeah. Excellent. And give me a moment to ensure that everyone's on the same page. What's the difference between the blue ball and the gold ball? Then I'll open up the selection. Alright, you do that. I guess I'll pick my own death ball when the game starts. After all, it's not like I need to win this game, right? Still, there's something kind of exciting about this game concept. The first phase might be a simple choice, but there's a ton of information you can glean based on whether or not you can place a ball in one location or another. If you were to wait for a while, you will have your opponents place down death balls before you. Then there'll be around 41% chance of actually selecting a valid spot. You might be able to figure out where a death ball was placed. Though you can't really be sure if it's a dud ball or a death ball since you can't check a valid spot was turned into an invalid spot. But if you're really lucky, you could in theory figure out what the 9 valid spots are and have a buffer knowing what spots would be safe to pick. Not only that, as the game plays out, you might be able to determine what spots have duds or which ones have death balls based on your opponent's reactions. You seem to be deep in thought there. I was thinking about what a wonderfully crafted game this is, how it tickles the brain in just the right way. It's real fun, ain't it? I can tell you want to enjoy it to the max. Even if I probably shouldn't. Why not? Games are fun, you should play to win. Play to enjoy yourself. Play to get into the thrill of it. Anyway, I've just come to let you know that we're about to open up the floodgates. You'll be able to select the spot on the game board where you want to place your death ball. To make a selection, just touch the cup on the screen that you want to place the ball under. If it's invalid, I'll let you know. Once everyone's placed a death ball, I'll release you back into the game room. So here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. Set those death balls. She makes it sound like it's a race, but it's anything but that. Really, you'd rather not be the first person to go. Let's see. If I were the others, where would I end up putting my balls? Is there some kind of pattern that people would avoid? I think most people would probably avoid putting it in the center. Feels like it draws the eyes too much. The corners feel too obvious. Perhaps one of the sides then. If I follow that logic, then perhaps there's a death ball at A2, A3, B1, B4, C1, C4, D2, D3. Though there's no real way to tell. It's just my own internal logic. But I can test it. I tap the cup on A2. Guess that one's a dud or a death ball. Maybe C1? That one's no good either. What about C4? Shoot, guess that's my spot then. But still, I got a good amount of info. At least 2 spots might be duds or death balls. I'm sure that everyone else is probably thinking something along those lines too. Why am I even getting involved in this again? I don't need to win. I'm just getting too excited. Just getting too excited over this game. Sheesh, that's always been a problem, isn't it? I get sucked into these kinds of things way too easily. Guess it's hard to shake old habits even now. Alright, all the death balls have been placed. Each one of you enter the game room now, please. Okay, game time. Are you all satisfied with your choices? About as satisfied as anyone can be putting a ball under a cup. No one's going to be able to guess where I placed mine. Don't you want them to? Well, yeah, but I don't need them to pick my death ball in order to win. It'd be like a crowning achievement, so to speak. I don't think you really get the rules of the game properly. Don't worry about me, I got this all figured out. Well, since you're all clearly on the same page, let me tell you the order of play. It's Richard, Alphonse, William, and then Clyde. Huh, didn't think I'd be the last person to pick a spot. You snooze, you lose. Granted, you were always going to lose. He was tolerable a while back, but now he's becoming that annoying prick again. Maybe I'll at least be able to see him lose before I kick the bucket. Alright, now you know the order. Richard, step on up to be first to take the cup from the board. Bell patted the table, which already had the game board set up. Good luck and good fortune, my merry players. Richard stepped up first and sat down to stare at the board. Alright, here goes nothing. What are my odds of picking a spot that'll kill me? Assuming you're not going to pick your own death ball, that'd be a 3 in 11 or about a 27% chance. You're pretty good at doing fractions. I was always pretty good at math. Well, those are some good odds, I'd say, yeah. Oh, no point worrying about it. Let's try this one. Should be a safe bet. Rich's hand reached out to A4 and hung his hand over it for a few seconds before lifting the cup off the board. Ta-da! Is that one of the dud balls? Yep, so it should be safe, right, Belle? That's correct. A gold ball is a dud, so you can just pop that one off without any worry. Heh. Talk about a lucky break. Of course, the first ball he picks is a dud ball. It wasn't luck. What do you mean it wasn't luck? How else would you pick it? Can't you figure it out? You cheated. No, I didn't cheat. Then what did you do? Think it through, William. How would Richard possibly have known where the dud would have been? Well, he'd have to have tried putting his death ball in a spot that had a dud in it. There you go, you solved it. But what if it had been another death ball location? Keep thinking, William. Richard was the first one in the rotation. What does that mean? It means that he was the first to put down a death ball. Which also means he probably knew that the dud he hit was a dud and not someone else's death ball. Bingo, you got it, kid. Well, I am a quick learner. That shit should have been obvious if you didn't jump to accusing people of cheating. Now that we've got that cleared up, I'm next. Alphonse moved over to the board and sat down. Alright. You want to give me a hint as to where you picked? Why would I do something like that? I don't know. Felt like something worth asking at least. Nah, I think you can figure things out. Darn. Guess I really am in this alone. Clyde, want to help me out? Nope, you're on your own. Damn. Alright, well, guess I'll just try and get lucky. Here goes. Alphonse didn't flinch as his hand swept over D3. A nothing ball. Guess I lucked out. The blue ones are plain, as in they're safe to pick. Weren't you listening to the rules? Yeah, but I'm more of a visual learner. Remember things better when they're written down. I'll try to remember that blue and gold are safe. White is death. Got it, got it. Either way, I'm safe. William, you're up next. How'd you know that spot was safe? I didn't. You didn't have some kind of trick to know? Nope, just made a random guess. Had faith that things would work out. I guess it is just a guessing game then. Well, there are some ways to narrow things down if you look carefully. What do you mean by that? Don't worry about it. That only makes me worry about it more. Alphonse just shrugged to move over to let William near the board. Okay, it's fine, I got this. I'll feel it out. Oh, William's gonna die like right now. Okay, I just have to pick the right one. The right one. What are you doing? I'm shaking the cup to see if I can hear the ball underneath. Is that allowed? Sure, he can move the cup as long as he doesn't knock one off the board. That would count as lifting the cup up since you'd see the ball was under it. Alright, but William, I don't think balls sound all that different. You don't know that. Watch a masterwork is magic. But you're a student. Alright, I think this one ought to be safe. Mystical B2, here we go. William snatched the cup off the board. Ha! Told you I could tell the difference. Oh, shame on me for doubting your abilities then. Damn right. If you doubt my abilities, you're only going to doom yourself. So watch yourself before you get wrecked. Alright, I'll keep it in mind. I walked up to the board and sat down. Let's see if we can play around with this for a moment. So far there have been no death balls pulled yet, but there was one dud that was pulled. I know that A2 and C1 are either duds or death balls, but considering that I'm last in the rotation, I think the odds that they're death balls is pretty high. So I should avoid those spots for sure, but maybe I should pretend I'm going to grab them and see if any reactions I can pull out of anyone. I'm not going to try and win, I'm just going to have some fun, that's all. I think I'll go for A2. I reach my hand toward the cup and place it on top of the cup. Having second thoughts? Maybe a few. No real strong reactions. Chances are they're trying to read me as much as I'm trying to read them. I lifted my hand off the cups again and began to float it over some of the other cups. C1? No reaction. Then maybe it's safe, or are they just faking it so that I pick it and die? Will you pick up already? I didn't rush you when you had your turn. But fine, I'll pick D2. Fine, pick it, I don't care. Just hurry things up. Well, there you go, we're dead. Oh. Well, look what just popped up. A death ball. Oh, don't be sad, Clyde. I know that you wanted to play more, but look on the bright side. What bright side? You're helping set the tone for the rest of the game. Gee, that really makes me feel better about the whole thing. Sorry, Clyde. Why are you apologizing? That was my death ball. Feels like I had a hand in your death. Well, technically you did. Don't worry about it. It wasn't like you were gunning to get me killed. It was just some bad luck. Happens to everyone, right? That's right, and in your case, bad luck is going to cost you quite dearly. Belle picked up the death ball from the table and tossed it over to me. I caught it and I could already feel an intense heat radiating off it. Is this some kind of bomb? Well, I guess this is where I bow out. Good luck and good fortune, everyone. Especially you, Richard. I don't know why I said that, it just sort of came out without thinking. Well, the sentiment is appreciated. Wait, before you go, what? Where'd you put your death ball? It's... Ah well, that was quick and painless. But I suppose it's better than being drawn out and painful, though. Now they're not going to know where I put the death ball at. That's fine, doesn't concern me anymore. After all, I'm dead, again, for the nth time now. And this is for the best, isn't it? Now one of them will win and things will progress smoothly, so I can just rest for now. Rest and let the cold embrace of death comfort me until I wake again. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today, but I guess it really is going to be Richard's ending because we are now playing as Richard, so awesome. Good to see where this is going to go. Anyway, thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is.